Welcome back to the channel. This is the channel Show and Go. I'm Zach, and today we're going to be fitting these BF Goodrich KO2s. These are 35. Let's see where I got it. Yep, 235/75 R15s. The internet says these will fit, and as you can tell, we gotta change some things to make them fit. So let me show you what I got to make these bad boys fit and have clearance. As a lot of you can tell, my Forester is sitting pretty low compared to stock. It's currently on WRX struts, which are 2 inches shorter than the stock Forester struts. So I got some stock Forester ones from the salvage yard. They have roughly around 60,000 miles on them. These are KYBs, which is a really good brand. I was able to pick them up for, I think it was like $25 per strut. So if you need stock struts, or you want to go to the opposite and lower your Forester, check out your salvage yards. You could get good ones. And today we're also going to be installing this lift kit by Sumo Parts. They make lift kits for most Subarus. Even comes with some stickers. But so they make lift kits for most Subarus, and they also make skid plates, rock sliders, and he's planning on coming up with some bumpers and other off-road goodies for your Subaru. So check out his website. It's www.sumoparts.com, and I'd like to give him a big thank you that he actually sponsored this lift kit for me to make this install video and show you guys about it. That this build quality is amazing. I'll see if I can get it closer so you can see. So the welds, very good. These are all powder coated. Even the bolts are tack welded in, so you don't have to worry about them spinning. But worst case scenario, somehow you snap one off, you could replace these. It's got the logo. These are the front. For the front, I'm going 2 inches, and set that right here. And then for the rear, I'm going 3 inches. So according to the research I've done, the 2.5 is the highest you can go on the front on a suspension lift. After that, your CV axles will bind and they'll wear out really fast. And for the rear, 3 inches is the most you can go. I decided to go 3 inch in the rear instead of 2.5 or 2 inch, because when you have weight in the back of the Forester, that the butt starts to sag, and I want to maintain good ground clearance when I'm off-roading with my camping gear in the back. Other way around that is to upgrade your springs to like King springs or other brand where they're stronger load. So, and then for the rear, it also takes this trailing arm spacer, and I'll show you this, that the welds on it and powder coating are really good. They're machine cut, so it's snug fit, and Sumo Parts has been making these lift kits for almost 10 years. So he's definitely got the camber and caster adjustments and everything all figured out. Really good kit. And so I guess we'll go start with the rear. So let's go jack that up. So I just got this side installed, and it took me a lot longer, but I learned a lot of good things that will speed up the other side. And so I'm going to share those with you, and then I'm going to tape the other side. And I'll probably use very little of the footage I got from doing this side, because I want this video to be short, sweet, to the point, and not a video of watching Zach struggle to figure out. So the install of this kit actually is pretty easy. Now, it helps if you know the order of operations. So I'll go through from start to finish. Things that I'm going to do on the other side to make it easier, and I'll show it off the vehicle. So let's start with the top part. So on mine, the holes on the vehicle were slightly off from the locations of these, not by much. I didn't want to force it in and mess up the thread, so I just used a Christmas tree or a drill bit or a step drill bit, and made the holes a little bit larger, so that way this would fit up easier. So my first recommendation is to test fit this before you bolt it to the strut. Other thing that I learned, which is common sense, or should be common sense, but for me, I'm tired, so that's my excuse. When you bolt it to the top hat of the strut, I'll get the other one to demonstrate. Oh, by the way, there's a right and left stamped on it, and you just match up the shape of it with the shape of that. Bam. And the other one fit on really nice and easy. The other one fit on good. This one, I think the studs on this are tweaked. The other side just slid on super easy. Okay, so once you get that on, use the OEM original bolts, or I mean nuts, on here. The fastener, the nuts and washers that come with it are for up here. Yeah, so there's that. Other thing that I learned is in the videos that I've found on, sorry, I had an itchy ear. The videos that I found, now I have an itchy armpit. The videos that I found on YouTube, everybody's doing like a 1-inch spacer, or a 2.5 at the largest. With a 3-inch, you have to do a little bit more to clear up space. So once you remove the strut, the original strut, you will also, I'm going to front, have to undo the sway bar and link. That it's a 14mm, and you can stick an open end wrench on this side and keep the shaft from spinning. I am going to remove the end link and the strut completely. I won't be running them anymore, for one, because of the suspension being now 3 inches longer than stock. This is not long enough to reach the end link. See, it's 3 inches all the way. So you need to undo that, and you'll also have to undo this part, and which is the trailing arm. Now on to tips for installing the trailing arm spacer. That you'll use the original bolts to the top and then the provided hardware for the bottom. These ones you can get to very easy with your ratchet and shallow well socket. For the one that is in the middle on the other side, it took me a long time, flip you around, took me a long time to figure that one out. I'm going to blame it on being tired again. But here is the trick. So it looks like this. There's not very much space in there to get a tool, especially when you have your nut in there. It's very hard to use your fingers to get it started, but you can do it. Put this back up on the stand. Okay, so the trick is that, so it'll be like this. You got the 2 bolts in there. Also, make sure you get all the bolts started before you tighten them down. That way all the holes line up. You'll need an extension and a shallow socket. This is a 3/8. That, as you can see, that hole for the bolt fits the socket or the extension perfectly. So what you'll do is, once you get that bolt started, you get the socket up in there and then clip it onto your extension. So you have that, and then you're able to go onto the bolt and tighten it super awesome fast. I tried lowering the diff support brace bar thing that runs across. Waste of like a half hour of my life. But that's why I'm doing this video. That way it'll be easier for other people, because this lift kit is super good. So once you know those tips, it installs very easy. This side took me a little over an hour. I anticipate the other side being more like a half hour, which I was anticipating. So I'm trying to think of other things. Oh yes, and then when you install the bottom part, what I found that worked the best is to stick a jack under here and jack it up, because then it'll raise the trailing arm. So it'll raise that trailing arm. And what I did, because you almost need a third hand because you still have to grab the trailing arm and pull it and line up the holes, is I stuck a bolt in. I don't have one with me. But anyway, I stuck a bolt in through here, one of the hardware that it comes with, and then I lined up the trailing arm, and then I used a pair of vice grips to clamp on. It's like being a weatherman, everything's backwards. To clamp onto here and the trailing arm to hold it up into place so I could get the other ones, and that worked amazing. So if you don't have 3 arms, use a vice grip. If you have a friend, use your friend, or maybe a friend and vice grips. So let's knock out the other side. Other thing that I learned about my car, sadly, is my CV boot is torn on the inside. So you can buy rebuild kits for the CV boot. They're like, oh, I say they're like somewhere around $50, or you could buy a whole CV axle for around like 60 or 70. So I'm just gonna get an axle. I've tried to replace boots and re-grease them, and it's a pain. So I'll go finish removing this end link and the sway bar, and then I'll start filming me do the other side. I'll do a time lapse of that, and hopefully my explanation I just did and the time lapse will help you guys know how to do the rear. I was trying to be so careful, but this one popped out too. You just have to drop it too low for this. So my recommendation is to pop out the CV axle from the transmission. It's really easy. You just get a pry bar behind it, and then, sorry, I heard a noise outside. Yeah, so you just get a pry bar behind it, and then you're able to pull it out. So for you guys to do it, pop out the CV axle from the transmission. So all that I have left is to pop that back in, so that way I can then slide that in. And I'll show you the trick that's to get your front lined up somewhat, so that way you can drive it better. Because this one, the front has the camber adjuster. So what I do is I take a level. Oh, there it is. I end up jacking up, putting the jack underneath the hub and jacking it up till the weight of the vehicle's on it. And then I'll put the magnet on there. And then I'll just adjust it till that's in the middle. It's off right now because there's no weight on the side of the suspension. But yeah, so you want to make sure that when you do that, you jack up on the hub till the complete vehicle weight is on it. So well, I'll go get this in and we'll finish up the video. So I got it all finished, and it looks pretty cool. So gotta show you guys now. That's what you've been waiting for. Thanks again, Sumo Parts, for sponsoring this lift kit. That I measured, my lowest point currently is my exhaust right by the rear wheel, and it is, I think, 11 inches of ground clearance, and then from the pinch weld on the sides, it's 15 inches. For some reason with the lighting in the shop that it doesn't like it. It always flashes. It looks so much meaner and aggressive now. Now the snorkel looks like it's in place, finally. Or that it's meant to be on this thing. Instead of it being low. Well, I did lock it, or see if I rubbed from lock to lock, and I do rub here on the back. I'm okay on the front, but on the back I rub, and it makes my turning radius super poor. So I'm gonna have to pull out my fender liner and smash down the pinch weld that's behind that, and then I should be able to turn like normal. So I definitely recommend going 215/75 R15s. That's what most people run. That's what my friend with his lifted Forester runs, and he has no rubbing or clearance issues. I just wanted to go big or go home sort of thing. Well, thank you all for watching. I hope this video was helpful for you to install your Subaru kit. Definitely recommend checking out Sumo Parts. He's reopening or restarting his shop. He just moved locations, and he's getting all his products back up into stock. So if on his website he says that he doesn't have anything, message him and he'll be able to hook you up. So thanks again for watching. Please like and subscribe, and see you in the next one.